A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wortz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis, and of course, joined by the Packers' all-time leading scorer, confirmed 1 year older, Mr. Mason Crosby. Happy birthday, my man.
It is confirmed, and I am now cemented deep into the 40s. I was like, Molly, I'm way into the 40s now. I mean, 41 sounds so different than, 40's exciting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. There it is. If you're look on YouTube. My mom very nice, kindly sent this picture to the boys of me chilling on the porch, getting the kids ready for school this morning. So got my happy birthday hat on, and I was waiting to reveal it on YouTube and on the show today until we got into our topic, almost like a Lee Corso type moment. So I'm gonna wait, but I got a Lee Corso type moment as we get into this first segment. Because I threw this out to the boys last night, and I was just I was curious how what they were thinking, and so I want to hear from listeners. I want to hear from everybody, all the fans out there. Is this the most hyped that we've been for a Packers season? What, in the last 4 or 5 years? I mean,
all day.
So you're all for it?
Yeah.
You think like now this hype is? I mean, it has to be. Like, I look back, maybe 2021. Was the last time that there was this much expectation and hype for this team. And this just happened, right? It just happened last week. Before last week, it was question mark. Oh man, can Jordan Love get better? Are these receivers going to even catch a pass? They have a good run game. Their defense was good, but I don't know. I don't know if they can, get after the passer. Now there is this hype and this train is moving, but I'm going to ask that question as well. Are you on the hype train? Have you already gone to Santa Clara waiting at the Super Bowl, and then you're just going to ride this emotional wave all the way through the season? Or are we going to jump in my conversion van and just take a little road trip? We're going to be casual. We're going to just take each week, 1 day, 1 week at a time, and we're just going to see where this thing unfolds. I want to be in that conversion van, but it's birthday time.
Yeah.
In my Corso moment.
Nice.
And I am hype train.
Oh, no. All right. Yeah. So Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. If you want to join the program today, is this the most hype in recent memory for a Packers season? When was the last time you were this hype for a Packers season? Obviously, it gets the Micah Parsons bump last week, but that's not your fault. That is not your fault on where your excitement gets to lie.
Were you already hyped?
You were already excited. I know that you guys as Packer fans were excited for Sunday, and it's a divisional game, means a little bit more. You get to go up against Dan Campbell without his coordinators to help him out during the process. And now one of the best edge rushers in the NFL is also a part of that team. Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250 if you want to join the show. Mason,
you can also message us on YouTube. As you're watching me in my most ridiculous dad goofy happy birthday hat I've ever worn in my life.
It is pretty bad. Yeah.
I mean, my girls said I had to at least wear it for part of the show. So it's going to happen in this first segment, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And now
but you
all
hate
of you
the
get
attention.
to see it.
You hate the attention.
I don't want any. Yeah, don't just. I don't like people looking at me. I don't want people
awesome.
to celebrate me, but just give me the praise. Give me all the. Let me know how great I am on this day.
Well, and I think there are other angles other than your birthday for a reason to be excited, and Micah Parsons as well to be a member of the Green Bay Packers now in game week. We are 1 day away from NFL football.
Yeah.
1 day away from NFL football now. I will say this. Jordan Love, year 3, like that's also been a trend with quarterbacks now for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
And I know it's not his official year 3, but it's his 3rd year as a starter. And now he got his first round wide receiver. That also added up a lot of hype for Green Bay in the offseason. Plus, he now has a defense that a lot of people are confident in with him to be able to have a sufficient enough offense because the defense should be elite. But what about that angle, Mason, on how excited are you to see Jordan Love this year, especially after last year when he was kind of banged up most of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for Jordan, and I think, I mean, you can't discount what history has said there in Green Bay. I mean, the year 3 for a starting quarterback, same age as all these other, like Favre and Aaron, and like just kind of it just feels very similar. Like, again, that hype train is already it's already left the station, and it's on its way to Santa Clara. It's there in San Francisco right now, waiting for that Super Bowl. And we gotta pull back just a little bit, and we gotta just say, like, all right, this is week 1. We do now, though. The Packers have that defense. Think about the defense that our Packers team had in 2010. I mean, it was like Clay Matthews was, a budding superstar. You had Charles Woodson, you had Nick Collins, Tremont Williams had solidified himself as an elite player. Kind of honestly, a little like a similar story to like a Keyshawn Nixon, right? Where it's like, all right, Tremont came from Europe, like didn't kind of, wasn't the guy right away, and then kind of made himself into this superstar lockdown type corner. So, I mean, yeah, like there are too many similarities to discount.
Sure.
That this team can be special. Great run game. An offensive line that is just, should be, very good this year. And then young wide receivers that have the potential to be electric, but, still a few question marks. Like, I think they need to, take that next step. But this team feels so similar to that 2010 team that it's kind of eerie in a sense.
It's the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Mason Crosby, Tommy Wortz talking about the hype going into this weekend for Packers Lions. And you talked about it with the young receivers. And Mason, you know me, last year I was already sick of the young and young receivers and whatever. There is a little more experience that comes with the team this season because of that. But also with the similar effect now to Micah Parsons being the defensive end and moving everyone down a role. Can you see maybe some people forming another narrative around that with Matthew Golden in the wide receiver spot? In the next segment, we'll get into the first official roster depth chart that was unofficial roster depth chart that was released by Green Bay.
Unofficial?
Yeah, officially unofficial. Is there something to be said about that where, hey, if Matthew Golden is the number 1, is the top guy on the outside for the Green Bay Packers, every other receiver going down a spot in their role doesn't look as bad either now?
Yeah, I think honestly I think that'd be a wise choice. You put Matthew Golden as quote unquote the number 1 receiver, right? I mean, they line up at different spots. It's whatever play you kind of design who becomes the number 1 in that situation. But you put him in the number 1. He was drafted in the first round. Like there's expectation, but I think it's almost like, all right, if he does great, everyone's super excited. If he's kind of a rookie and has some ups and downs, everyone kind of expects that. So put that pressure on him, or put that tab on him. So now all these other receivers are pushing to compete to show that they deserve to be on the field, that they can be those guys. I think a lot of these guys will play very well in that role to be a guy that's chasing that number 1 spot, right? Instead of the pressure and like carrying all that weight and all the the load of being the number 1 guy. So I think that just sets up really well for these receivers to go out there and execute in that mindset, instead of it being like, all right, I have to play great because I am the key receiver in all situations on this team. But I do, the only thing I'm a little weary of is like, if you look at that, I mean, it's, you have Jaden Reed's is questionable.
Yeah.
You have Dontavian Wicks is questionable. I think was Dobbs on that list? I don't think he was on it.
He is every other week if he's not on
Christian
it this
Watson's
week, right?
out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your three receivers that are available right now are Matthew Golden, Romeo Doubs, and Malik Heath, I guess, would be like kind of if you just looked at it right now until we know, further throughout the week if Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks are going to go. Those are your guys.
Sure.
Which I mean, I don't think it's bad because then you're going to go Luke Musgraves and Tucker Kraft. You're going to get a heavy dose of tight ends, which I'm all about.
I think that is also another narrative and another form you got to look at it in this offense this year is maybe we're not hyping up the tight end situation enough either, because we've tried to see Green Bay rock with this young wide receiver core for a couple of seasons now. Now, Matthew Golden is a new addition to that, obviously, but really the last 2 seasons, it has been some form of Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Doubs trying to be the guys and the weapons for Jordan on the outsides. Yeah. And last year was really the first bit that we got to see full unleash Tucker Kraft and be that guy for Green Bay. And really, he took Luke Musgrave's job. Like that did happen
for sure.
And now this year, the plan seems like they're going to implement both of them a whole lot more together, and it could be a new look offense for Green Bay altogether. Mason,
I love it. I mean, if you can flex the tight end out there and you get mismatches as well, I mean that can be so dangerous. I mean, you see the great teams that do it. I mean, that's what Kansas City has done when Kelsey was in his prime. I mean, it was just like. You put Travis Kelce out there against somebody, and I mean Tucker Kraft has skim. I always compare him. He's like a mix between Kittle and Kelce. Like he's got that just like dog physicality, but he kind of runs finesse routes and does a little more of that finesse type stuff like Kelce does. So I think he like Tucker Kraft. And he can block. So it's like you put Luke Musgraves flexed out, you float him inside at times, and you do some different things, get him running routes out of the backfield so you guarantee a linebacker is covering him, because those are like big, kind of issues that you want to get those mismatches, right? You want to get somebody on those tight ends that is just not going to be able to run with them. And I don't think a lot of linebackers, I mean, maybe the Packers linebackers can run with Musgraves, but I'm not sure too many teams have linebackers that can run with both tight ends. Like they're not going to have 2 guys that can run with them. And then you're bringing a safety down, and then now the top comes wide open because then we're running down there. The one name I keep forgetting that they drafted this player, Savion Williams.
Yeah.
Like he's questionable as well, but I mean, who knows? We might see some heavy doses of him throughout the season if there are injury issues and if he can find himself healthy. So, yeah, I love the tight end situation, and I think those are going to be the bell cows for this Packers offense.
You were teammates with the tight ends, right? You were on the team when they drafted Kraft and Musgraves? No, that was the year after?
Year after.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I was going to ask if anyone gave Musgraves a hard time for falling down every time he touched the ball.
He did fall a lot.
Every time. I mean, baby giraffe to a T was Luke Musgraves. But I do think that Musgrave can be a very versatile piece for Green Bay. And I don't want to make any comparisons of a New England tight end duo back in the day, but that is a very reminiscent of a Gronk Hernandez on the field type situation.
That's a good point.
And they worked it out very nicely. Got both of them paid, got both of them very big focal points in the offense. And I wonder if Jordan Love is maybe just a little bit like out of patience with the rest of the receiving core, because it has been a few seasons they've tried to run with these guys. And I think that where all this hype comes from is, to put it over the edge of, hey, this is the most hype I've been for a Packers season since 2020. It was the defense, and it was Micah Parsons. Absolutely. But you got to move from Mark Murphy in his final year where the draft is in Green Bay and Mason's dancing next to Lil Wayne up on the stage. Like, you get Matthew Golden. That should have brought in a lot of excitement, and it did. You have now a new offense, probably at least a new centric offense, where it's not going to be Jordan Love step back and rip it. It's Josh Jacobs is going to be the focal point. And these 2 tight ends are now going to be great safety blankets for Jordan Love in year 3, Mason.
Man, you're kind of painting a picture. And just because you brought up the Patriots, in their kind of prime time when they were winning Super Bowls and those tight ends, I mean, this could be that same type of recipe.
I mean, who were the wide receivers?
Right?
Was it Welker and Amendola?
This can be that recipe, right? Where it's like you have great tight ends. If I'm Jordan Love right now, I'm handing that ball off to Josh Jacobs. And if you want to prove that you're a physical football team, then you get the ball in those tight ends' hands and make the other team come tackle them.
Yeah.
And just let Tucker Kraft and Musgraves just beat up on guys with the ball in their hands and just get physical. And then it will open the top up for anything else that you want to do downfield. So like if I'm Jordan Love, if I'm Matt LaFleur, I am just pounding the rock, feeding those tight ends early and often, and make other teams show that they can play the physical game that you're prescribing to, right? And then you have a great defense. And then you just say like, all right, well, you stopped us on offense. Now we're going to come after you on defense. And if you want to look back, like the Patriots or not, I mean, that is the recipe that they used, right? I mean, Belichick, it was all around the defense. It was all about running the football,
right?
And not, until they had Moss, I don't think Tom Brady threw a ball more than 15, 20 yards down the field.
And Gronk and Hernandez weren't a part of the Moss era. Like that's afterwards. They were they were rocking out there with 4 different slot receivers, just playing receiver at some point from
Edelman, Amendola, and Welker. I mean, it was did they have anyone over 6 feet tall playing receiver other than their tight ends?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like it was really those were the 2 weapons that they went to, and it also brings up another good point of how much more effective they can be in the red zone if they have both of those guys available and ready to go. And I think Luke Musgrave, the big thing is also going to see if his blocking has improved, because last year when he did get the limited time for Green Bay, I mean, it was a dead tell they were passing the ball. He's on the field because he can't block anyone and he's going to go out and run a route. He didn't get a lot of playing time last year, obviously, because he was hurt, but he needs to have a little bit better blocking ability because Tucker Kraft took his job because he could block better than him.
For sure. Yeah, I think again, you need to have him kind of going in motion, getting in like flex spots, kind of move Musgrave around, do some run plays where maybe he's not asked to block at the point of attack a lot, like maybe be like a weak side blocking tight end. That way, at least he's on the field doing run plays, right?
Right.
You have to set that up so that you aren't kind of giving that tell to other teams. I even look back, let's just before we go to onto this depth chart in the next segment, all that, and we're talking about hype for this team. I mean, I can't remember a time in my time in Green Bay that this much hype now has been on a team week 1, right? Right at the end of training camp. There had been times where it's like, man, this team's going to be good. They were great last year. We have expectations. But because of that move with Micah Parsons, it went from, all right, this team should be contending and be good to now the hype is palpable. It's real. It's right here. We just didn't do any of those, those big moves in my time. So it was all right, you got Aaron Rodgers. You got great receivers. You got, the question mark is all right, can our defense, do some things? Maybe it was that 2011 season, but, timing was also a thing. 2010, we were locked out for the whole offseason. So, there was no talk about our team after we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We come into training camp and it's just all right, we're rolling. What is this team going to look like? What are they going to be about? We drafted players and you're just trying to get to know who's coming into the building. So, I mean, I can't remember that. And I think we always talked about where it was we enjoyed that underdog mentality. I mean, that was Aaron's thing, right? It's call me an underdog and I'll prove you wrong type of deal.
Run the table.
So we just, I think we played from that spot a lot more. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the culture in Green Bay handles being the hyped team and the team that everyone's looking at to start this thing off.
BR in Milwaukee, pretty hype right now, as you can join in on the YouTube page as well, youtube.com/@thefanmilwaukee. Go watch the Mason Crosby Show live every day from 9 a.m. to 11. All right, so final answers then real quick too, Mason. Is it the most hype you've been in a decade for this team? Since your playing days, what are we going with? I mean, how long you been out now? You're 41 already. It's just pass it over.
Only a couple of years, yes. But I am hyped. I am hyped for I'm hyped for football. I'm hyped for, the game tomorrow night. I am excited for the NFL. I'm excited about this Packers team, but I am, as you know, always cautiously optimistic. So let's remember that. So I'm jumping in my conversion van more than likely, and I'm taking this road trip, and I'm gonna be locked in. I'm hyped right now. Once that game kicks off on Sunday, I am on that weekly mission of following this team, seeing what they do, how they perform, and not getting too far ahead of myself. So if y'all want to come with me on that journey, I'm here for it. And you know me, now that I'm on the radio, now that I'm in the media, like I might go somewhere.
I'll meet you in San Fran.
I'll be somewhere else. Yeah. By Thursday, if they're 2-0 after Thursday, I'm jumping on the second train that's heading out to San Francisco.
Headed back over there. Mason Crosby, Tommy Wortz here. Want to remind you guys, Football Talk on the Fan presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus, including the Packers Week 1 on Paramount CBS Plus. All season long, visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. The officially unofficial roster depth chart came out for the Green Bay Packers yesterday. We're going to break it down. We got some questions in there. Did Jordan Morgan make the starting lineup? Where is Matthew Golden on that depth chart? We'll tell you guys next. It's the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Happy birthday.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you.
It's the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wortz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis, joined by the birthday boy and Packers all-time leading scorer, Mr. Mason Crosby. You had like tortilla casserole. What did you just call it in the break here?
Enchilada casserole.
Enchilada
my
casserole.
mom's made that forever. My older brother actually loves it so much she like froze it and gave it to him for Christmas one year.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's all he wanted. He was just like, I need enchilada casserole.
It's literally the kid unwrapping the avocado. Thanks, but it's enchilada casserole.
I think he was pretty excited. I mean, he was a grown man at the time,
right.
but it was like he was like, this is the best thing ever.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure he just went and like started heating it up and eating it like while they were unwrapping presents.
At what point do you get to that age of when it's like gifts are better to give than receive? You know, like are you kind of strike me as a guy who's like when I get the gift, like if it's a good gift, don't get me wrong, and not that bad gifts, like I don't need the most extravagant gifts anymore to be satisfied with a gift, you know?
I agree.
But I love to give like the awesome gift to someone, right?
My reactions are like never like I'm usually pretty just
like
even.
Oh,
so
it's
like,
awesome, thanks.
Yeah, so like I'm probably not the best to give gifts to because I'm just like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah, like I'll use this. This is awesome. Like I really appreciate it. And like I'm tough to give gifts for because it's just like, okay, I don't like need a lot of things.
Sure.
And it's like, if I want something, it's like, okay, I'll get that.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going, it's not like I need, all right, I'm going to wait and I'm going to tell Molly, like, I want this as this gift for my birthday or Christmas. It's just like, you know, if I need a new rangefinder for the golf course, I'm just going to go get that. Yep. I'm not going to wait for Christmas to get that for that time. But yeah, like I love giving gifts. Like I've loved giving gifts since I was a kid. Like I would always we would always try to make my mom cry with the gifts, you know?
Okay.
So, and you know, humble brag, you know, me, the most humble
deal. Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure I won every year for Christmas. Yeah. It was just
won. That's so humble.
It was always a competition.
Christmas.
Oh, it was always a competition.
Yeah.
Who could give mom the most sentimental gift and make her cry?
I'm returning my Cudahy Yacht Club membership for I got for you, which was actually just a raft.
Yeah, is that a raft in like somebody's like backyard above ground
you
pool?
have to blow it up with your mouth every time if you want to go out on it, but I was going to get you one until you yesterday decided.
It's not even a remote control boat.
No,
it's just like
it's inflatable. It is inflatable. This is the Mason Crosby Show, and you know what the best gift was for Rasheed Walker yesterday? A listing of the number one left tackle on the Packers unofficial depth chart yesterday that was given out to the media, and I'll run down it, but that's really like the big name, the first one that stands out. The quarterback, of course, Mr. Jordan Love, with Josh Jacobs at running back, listed at running back 2, funny enough, my guy Emmanuel Wilson. I love what he does for the team. Jaden Reed at one of the wide receiver positions, along with Matthew Golden and Romeo Doubs. Tight end Tucker Kraft. And your offensive line goes Rasheed Walker, Aaron Banks, Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan, Zach Tom. Any surprises from the starters there, Mason, for you? Because it seemed like Jordan Morgan was making a real case to be the starting left tackle for Green Bay.
Yeah, but I never saw him being the day one starter or like the week one starter. As long as Rasheed Walker was healthy, like I feel like that's kind of one of those, it's not unspoken rule. Like you can lose your job if somebody's just like outstanding, but you don't lose your job because of injury, right? Like Rasheed Walker, when he was healthy, like he did a good job, right? He has a lot of starts. I feel like you kind of have to start him at the beginning of the season, again, see where he's at, because you're going to have to make a decision on him as well, right? So it's like, all right, we're going to see what he can do. If he is just outstanding. I mean, it's kind of like the David Bakhtiari thing, right?
Sure.
It's like he kind of earned his spot as he moved into this place, and they kind of had to make a decision on him. So I think they're looking at that for Rasheed Walker. They know they have Jordan Morgan waiting in the wings, ready to roll if need be. My biggest question is, okay, Aaron Banks is still questionable. Haven't seen a lot from him. Not sure. You have Donovan Jennings behind him on the depth chart, But I would not be surprised if for some reason Aaron Banks couldn't go, that Jordan Morgan doesn't slide into that spot.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, right. Or their newly traded guard that they like, Darian Kennard.
Yeah,
right?
Kennard's an option.
He's at right guard on the backup spot on the offense. The backup's listed like this. Malik Willis, obviously, at quarterback. We had said Emmanuel Wilson.
That one's surprising. I didn't see that at the quarterback position. So, a little surprised at that one.
Surprised that it's not Jordan Love at number 2. Right. Okay.
I mean, we did a poll. Yeah,
we did. 6% of you think this is BS. I know what it is. Dontavian Wicks, Savion Williams, Malik Heath at the backup wide receiver positions, Luke Musgrave at tight end. And it says here, left tackle, Jordan Morgan, left guard, Donovan Jennings. Sean Ryan is listed as the backup center with Kennard at right guard and Anthony Belton at right tackle. I do agree with your point, though, here, Mason, that any one of these guys, maybe with an exception to Elton Jenkins going down, the backup has to be listed as Jordan Morgan. I think they're going to make him
the backup. Yeah,
right.
He's backup to first man down. He's coming in.
Absolutely. He's the sixth man, right? He's the sixth O lineman, because it makes no sense to have him have this much hype and this many opportunities at left tackle. And even with your point here, Mason, where you kind of want to see what you have with Rasheed Walker, I don't think they're going to bring him back no matter what. So that makes it a little weird to me as well. Like, I understand the point of get as much as you can out of him while he's here, but I also know that Jordan Morgan is this team's future. This is who they want to be this team's future.
True.
And just like putting him on the back burner because he's not ready, like, doesn't give you a lot of optimism for the future either, Mason.
I don't know. I mean, like those positions are so tough. Like sometimes it's just like you got to sit and wait. You got to keep developing. You're going to get your opportunities. I think Rasheed Walker gives this team at the moment the best chance to be successful. I mean, I look at that offensive line and it's it looks really solid to me, right? I mean, Sean Ryan, am I looking at that right? He's starting at right guard.
Yes.
Okay. Which, I guess that's good, but you got Anthony Belton. I mean, everyone in those backup positions, I feel like can play anywhere on that offensive line, maybe minus center. Like all of them might not be able to play center, but you look at Sean Ryan can go to center. I would think Anthony Belton could play both guard positions if need be. Right. I don't know a ton about Kennard, but I feel like he could probably float across, to either side as a guard.
Is it
then Jordan Morgan is like the Swiss Army knife. Like that's kind of how they're building him out to be.
Is it at least a misevaluation of your personnel on behalf of Green Bay, where they took the Jordan Morgan pick, 2 years ago now in the first round with probably the hopes that he would be somewhat competitive to start for a position last year, which he was not. Plus he was hurt for most of it as well. And then this year, you're really expecting, hey, he's going to solidify himself as one of the 5 best on the team. And I don't think he did. And they talked about his hype in the preseason, and we have quickly realized that you cannot gain a job, but you can lose a job in a preseason game with the Green Bay Packers, it feels like. And Jordan Morgan is a great example.
Walker
of that.
wasn't out there, right? He was not, and it's like he was injured at times, and Jordan Morgan had every opportunity to kind of just say, like, this is my job. But if you have a guy like Rasheed Walker, like, again, you're not going to be able to pay him top left tackle money, right?
No.
Just now with what you've done with Micah Parsons, with where the salary cap is. So yes, like you're saying, he more than likely not. I mean, it's probably a 90.
He's 95%. He's gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
But if you believe that, he would be a guy that, like, if you had the money, he would get, be a top left tackle type prospect. Like, you have him on your roster. You play those types of players, right? So, I mean, that must mean for them, they're like, we view Rasheed Walker as a really good offensive lineman, left tackle. We're going to get the most out of him, kind of, see what, that he can perform this season. And good on him. It's like, he's been here. He's been a guy in our locker room. Like, if he's not here, like, yeah, I think it's good for teams to have their guys go somewhere else and get paid as well, because you're like, all right, we had this guy. He's a great player. We can't pay him, we want to see him get paid somewhere else because that means we're doing the right things. So I think there is some of that. Like it's almost pride in your process, right? It's like, all right,
I guess, but wouldn't you want to be like, hey, we took him in the 7th round and now he's a cornerstone.
You still have Jordan Morgan like sitting there. So it's like, you're going to have him and you're going to have the option to plug him in. And again, that offensive line as is, those starters will not be starting every game. Like it's just impossible, right?
Well, it almost happened last year.
Jordan Morgan's going to play some. I mean, my question is like, okay, so if Aaron Banks doesn't play in this game or plays in this game, doesn't play on Thursday, like what, like, is that like, how do we feel about that? What they spent on him and all that. And like, if he ends up not being available throughout this season, like, is that a big miss? I mean, is that one of those where you're like, man, that was kind of a head scratcher again, because you have Jordan Morgan, right? Like right. If you feel good about that guy, that's another thing where it's like, all right, whatever we think about Jordan Morgan, all that, like they're in Green Bay, they're not ready to put him on the field. I mean, they went and signed a big free agent, Aaron Banks, at the guard position. They didn't like feel good about putting Jordan Morgan above Rasheed Walker. Like, so Jordan Morgan for the for us fans, for the Packers, he is not ready yet.
Yeah.
Like he's just not ready yet.
And that has to be at least a misevaluation of personnel on his behalf as well. If it's not because you didn't realize what you had already with the offensive line, is that, Jordan Morgan, it pretty much looks like you're saying right now, is not ready to be a starter in the NFL. And maybe that's because you have an embarrassment of riches on that offensive line, but
it's a pretty good offensive line if you look at it on paper. Like if you just look at that roster, I mean, the starters are pretty solid and they have a lot of snaps under their belt. So like, I mean, that's not a bad place to be. I mean, you paid Zach Tom. I mean, you're paying 3 out of those 5 guys like pretty good
premium
money.
Money. Yeah. Plus so first round pick money. Like round pick money ain't nothing to scoff at either.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is the Mason Crosby Show. We're going through the Packers' first unofficial depth chart released yesterday on social media. What moves surprised you if you've seen it? We went through the offense. Let's do the defense real quick as well, because this gets the mouth watering just a little bit now. Yeah. Defensive end 1, Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt, and Colby Wooden listed as the 2 defensive tackles. Micah Parsons on the other edge spot, with the 3 linebackers being McDuffie, Walker, and Cooper. Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs at your 2 corner positions. Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams at the safeties. I mean, that defense, Mason, that is a established and scary defense for other teams to have to prep against. It looks
really is. And think about this. So as I look at it, I mean, the nickel, like Valentine is the backup nickel. Does he come in before Bo Melton, or if Nate Hobbs doesn't go, is Bo Melton the next corner up there? I mean, if you look at this depth chart, he's right behind Nate Hobbs. I would think Valentine would probably step in there, but I mean, Bo Melton could get some serious, meaningful reps on this defense here this year. Like, he's going to play a lot of ball for this defense.
Well, who's guarding? Okay, so now who's guarding Amon-Ra on Sunday?
You got to put Keyshawn on him.
You're going to put Keyshawn on him.
I think you got to put Keyshawn.
So is Keyshawn the best athlete in that corner room?
I think so. Yeah.
So then who's guarding Jamison Williams? Because he's probably a better athlete than Amon-Ra, but Amon-Ra's a better receiver.
He's a better receiver, better route runner.
Yeah.
So I think you put your second guy on Jamison Williams just because.
So you want Hobbs following Williams?
Yeah, you got Hobbs on Williams.
That's a lot for your first game.
But does Jamison have is he more top end speed? Do you think?
He's definitely faster. Yeah,
so that is tricky because Keyshawn's. I
Amon-Ra's
I haven't
physical...
seen a ton from Hobbs.
Yeah.
But I would assume Keyshawn's faster than Hobbs. Like Keyshawn's one of the fastest guys on the the team.
Right.
So,
and a very physical wide receiver is like Amon-Ra, and Nate Hobbs has kind of been Mr. Physicality in preseason too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like unless they run Amon-Ra into the slot a lot, which they do quite a bit, right? Like they move him around.
Yep.
This is you might see Bullard over him if we're running some nickel. I don't see them maybe in this first game. I'm not sure if I see them even locking on receivers. They just might stay left and right and just cover down as it goes. I have this like crazy thought that like Bo Melton is just going to find his way like into playing a lot of time on this defense, especially if Nate Hobbs comes in, he's not fully healthy. I mean, like, why not? Like, why not put Bo Melton in that, either on the slot or, he's covering, he knows how like wide receivers, like he's probably watching that film and knows, what routes and like all the stuff they try to do. Like, he's not a bad option against probably a good route runner.
Supposedly.
He might not be the guy against like, maybe the most physical, fast, whatever, like that type of guy, but like against a route runner, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, no one's going to shut down St. Brown.
Yeah.
But like, but you just got to minimize what is effectiveness.
I don't think you have to talk yourself into this cornerback room, Mason. I think that's okay. All right. And I think it is as C+ level of a cornerback room as it gets, because the other two levels,
there's question marks. That's probably the biggest question mark.
The other two levels are now elevating into A tier, S tier, whatever you want to call it, because I'm also really wondering now, because last year they did run a lot more nickel, and they went with more of a 4-2-5 approach as opposed to right? with the 4-3. Well, now who do you want on the field? Do you want McDuffie on the field, or do you want Bullard on the field?
That's a good question. I mean, I would say early on against this Lions team, I'm putting 3 linebackers.
Right, they're probably going to want to run the ball more
because you're going to want McDuffie in the center of that defense, trying to like make sure that we shore up that middle. Because like if the Lions don't do it, like I'd be surprised if they don't just try to test our D tackles in the defense right away, early and often.
Yeah, secondary or second string here for the defense, listing second edge rusher as Lucas Van Ness, Carl Brooks, Nasir Stackhouse as the 2 backup defensive
Don't sleep
tackles.
on Carl Brooks. I think Carl Brooks is gonna have a fine year.
Going to be expected to do a lot when you give up a guy like Kenny Clark. That's going to be defensive tackle by committee now at this point. There is Kenny Clark.
Look at our ends too. So Kingsley Enagbare has had some sparks of really good play.
Yep.
Brenton Cox Jr. is a great player.
Another one. Yep.
I mean, you have 4 or 5 guys at those end positions that can be really solid. And then, you got Baron Sorrell, who you drafted. And, so like you're going to expect him, if he's healthy, to, play special teams and have, some fill-in role there, on that defensive front, give guys a blow. So, I mean, that defensive front just got really, really good. Minus Kenny Clark, which is always a shot. But before we go to break, let's I was a little surprised at this one that they did have Jaden Reed as the starting punt returner, and the second guy is Matthew Golden.
Yeah, wrapping things up on special teams. Kicker Brandon McManus, Danny Whalen is your punter holder. Punt return, as you just said, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Keyshawn Nixon, but kick returner has Keyshawn Nixon, Bo Melton on their special teams.
Keyshawn will probably do the first one, I would assume, in this Lions game, and then I bet we see a heavy dose of Bo Melton.
Well, I would like to see a heavy dose of whatever on not Jaden Reed. Actually, this is another thing now, maybe a totally separate topic and question in itself as well. I just think the Packers are kind of falling out of love with Jaden Reed a little bit here. I do believe that putting him at punt return last year had a lot of people up in arms and everyone freaking out. Now, Matthew Golden at a punt returner, I don't want any business of that. No need to do that. But especially looking at this depth chart today, and Matthew Golden and Romeo Doubs are listed as the 2 outside guys. If they do draw up a little bit more for Matthew Golden in a gadget spot or a Savion Williams in a gadget spot, I think the Jaden Reed dose is going to take a huge step back this season. And I do think that Green Bay maybe now just sees him more as that gadgety type guy on an offense, like an old school McCole Hardman in Kansas City type situation.
You're going to see him. I think you're going to see more of him in the like kind of decoy role where he's running across, jet sweep looks, fake the handoff to Josh Jacobs. Like that's going to be our play action, right? And then you have 2 tight ends, and you're running, running a lot of like little outs and little things. Again, if you get the ball in those tight ends' hands as much as you possibly can, and again, make guys come tackle them, like make them like set the tone for physicality. just almost like extended run plays out of the backfield or, flexed out, whatever the position they're in. Just get the ball in their hands quick and let them go and make the secondary of these other teams tackle them. Because like that's almost like a boxing mentality, right? It's just like, all right, how much punishment? Because the DB eventually is not going to want to hit that tight end if he's taking shot after shot. And now all of a sudden you're breaking tackles and you're getting 10, 15 extra yards. So I think that kind of chess match is going to be that'd be a great formula for him to start, especially against this Lions team.
Shout out Matt Orzik too. We don't want to leave out the one guy we didn't name on the starting roster.
Yep, sorry. Hey, snappers are people too. We got to give them love.
Snappers are people too.
Do you think Savion Williams could be? I think he could pop up at the kick returner spot too if he's healthy and he's not getting too many meaningful minutes there at wide receiver.
I mean,
he could end up being the kick returner.
Believe it if you want. Andy Herman thinks he's got maybe the most. If everyone lives up to their fullest potential, he likes Savion Williams better than anyone. So
he should be able to catch a kickoff, right? Yeah, I mean,
he
can't catch much of
literally all I
else.
want. just call for fair catch at this point and catch it, and whatever happens after that, I'm okay with. I don't need
no more fumbles on kickoff.
Don't need any Devin Hesters on this roster.
No, Devin Hester. I'd take a Devin Hester.
Well, I'm saying that there is not one, so I am not going to make anyone become Devin Hester on this team because it's not going to happen. All right. The Brewers play today as well. We'll talk just a little bit about them before we get back into some Packers talk.
Let's not forget about the Brewers.
With our good buddy Eli Berkovitz at 10 o'clock, Packer Report, 24/7 Sports. He'll join the show. We'll get a little bit of Brewers conversation because they got a big series they're in right now, too, with the Philadelphia Phillies. Last game was brutal loss for Milwaukee. Looking to bounce back today. And we'll be out at the Milwaukee Brat House today, Wisconsin Sports Daily, and the leadoff show. So come say hi, hang out with us. Local programming all day today, 8 a.m. to 6:40 today, 6:30.
Nonstop.
I mean, nonstop. You're just not going to, don't turn off the dial. You don't have to anymore. It's going to be awesome. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan. Studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. A little outfit change. I was getting hot.
Jeez, hot and sweaty.
Woo, like working a little bit.
And you are so random today. I mean, you got a Grizzlies hat on. You had a Brewers Power of Friendship sweatshirt. Now Wisconsin Badgers t-shirt.
Do you know
what's going on?
My wardrobe is just cool sports stuff.
How long have you had that shirt for?
This one, it's a double X, so it can't be quite that long because I haven't gotten a double X. But like,
it feels
a couple
like you've had
years,
it for a while,
maybe
yeah.
It feels like I got it for a while. Whatever, dude. I can't. My bad. I don't subscribe to Shirt of the Month Club. Like
they give you the free shirt every time you get a boat at the boat club.
Right. Yeah. Amiri R Us or whatever you go to. You know, I can't help it. My bad. I got this at the finest Goodwill, probably. All right.
Just bring us in. Let's go.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We've been talking a lot of Packers as we are talking about how excited we are for Green Bay Packers season. Thank you, Micah Parsons. And then the first unofficially depth chart of the Green Bay Packers coming out yesterday. But the Milwaukee Brewers are still in action right now as well. And I think they do deserve just a short little segment here on how important this game is and how important this series really is against Philadelphia, Mason.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Phillies are they're a great team, and they showed it in that 10-8 loss that the Brewers took 2 days ago. What'd you feel about Pat Murphy and his stuff? I mean, that had to get you fired up.
I feel
like you need that. I think he knew it was needed. In that moment.
I'm the one who is super anti robo umps too. That has been my stance for a long time. And if you bring us robo umps, we don't get those moments anymore. You got to have that. Now, to be fair, it was on a check swing, which wouldn't be done robotically anymore. It will be all human element. And it was a terrible call. It was totally a swing. Absolutely swung.
It was a joke.
And he went. And Pat Murphy trying to fire the boys up. It didn't quite work. I'm getting a little more nervous about the bullpen as it goes later and later.
Can you review that?
No, it's not a reviewable play. It's like that you can review fair balls, but you can't review foul balls. Also, I
feel like a check swing should be reviewable. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, you get a video of that. It's pretty easy to see.
You could also argue that they have all of the technology to tell you the angle of the swing and how fast it's going by now. You would think that you could determine if it was an acute or an obtuse angle by the time. Yeah, that's a swing, right?
Easy.
The 90 degrees should be met or not met based on if you swung or not, right?
What are we using AI for if we're not using it for that kind of
it's
stuff? This is ridiculous.
The wrong things. Yeah. And I'll be anti-AI for as long as I want to as well. Not you, Allen Iverson, just the computers. But Brewers game today, it'll be Jose Quintana on the bump going up against Aaron Nola. Would love to get the series victory. Again, we're going to be at the Milwaukee Brat House in downtown Milwaukee. Come say hi, Wisconsin Sports Daily, 2 to 5, and then the leadoff show 5 to 6:30. Should be an awesome night.
Can I go back to what you said?
Yeah.
So you're concerned about this bullpen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, dive in. You're our leadoff, show. I would say you're a connoisseur of the Milwaukee Brewers and of baseball. Yeah. So,
I got you. Yeah. I wasn't really sold on the Shelby Miller deal when it happened. Now it sounds like that could be, from speculation, a little bit more long-term and maybe done for the year. If he felt a pop in the elbow, usually that's nothing good. Trevor McGill and Abner Uribe are just going to pitch as much as they can and be super tired at the end of the year. They've already done that with Nick Mears as well. Yep. I think that this is all pointing to Jacob Mizorowski going to the bullpen.
He's got to go.
He's got to go because he's probably one of the worst starters, but it's because it's when he gets through that lineup the third time, they kind of have an idea of, okay, it's going to be 102 and be ready for that. I think he would be awesome coming in a 6th, 7th inning situation, and maybe he comes in even later in ball games. But all of it has to point to that. Robert Gasser, I think, is going to be another guy that's similar to an Aaron Ashby because Ashby's been overworked as well, too. I think all of them, understandably, very tired, and that gives me just a little bit of worry as well for the Brewers in the future.
Yeah, I like the Miz take. I think, especially in the postseason, I mean, you have him in the bullpen and you bring him out just to just to relieve or just be middle of the lineup and just throw heat, try to get through an inning or two. I think that would be an awesome option. We talked about this for a long time. Like if you had, and I know Sparky talked about this on his show, and I don't know if you have on the leadoff, but Woodruff his last couple outings,
I ain't worried about him.
Little suspect, but we talked about this a while back where it's like if you have a Brandon Woodruff out there, starting the game, and then you bring in the Miz after him, where it's like Woodruff is just painting corners, doing his thing, and then all of a sudden you bring in the Miz in and throwing 102 mile an hour heats. And I think that would allow Mizrowski to throw those fastballs a lot more effectively, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Because like you're saying, like by that third inning and like the third time through the lineup, it's like, or like fourth inning, like you kind of know what you're getting.
They're pros. They're pro hitters. Like they know what it's going to be. All the pros can hit a fastball no matter how fast it is. So make sure you guys are tuning in today to the leadoff show, 5:00. With my boy Charlie Usen is producing, as well as we're at the Milwaukee Brat House downtown. That'll be great. We got to get to Eli Berkovitz. He is in the studio ready to go here. Mitch Nellis going to jump on as well from 10 to 11 before Thunder Middays. It is the Mason Crosby Show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
It's the 10 o'clock hour of the Mason Crosby Show, so it must be Mitch Thunder Nellis. But really, it's Mason Crosby's birthday. I know we've been celebrating for an hour, but I am so excited. Mason, happy birthday.
Thank you, buddy. I'm glad you made it in. You look great in purple.
Well, you
always do.
I went to a sales meeting today, so I had to wear a collared shirt.
Oh, gosh. Why you got to do that to Tommy?
I love him so much.
He's fuming over there.
Tommy, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Well,
okay?
I'm glad you made it in and got to the meeting. I mean, it's
right,
some people make meetings, some people don't.
Sounded like it was a great meeting.
Hey, Tommy,
Sounds like it was a great
Tommy,
meeting.
it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
You know,
No, Tommy.
I would
Tommy,
rather it
it's
be
not-
my fault.
Tommy, it's not your fault.
We don't blame you,
Tommy, it's not your fault.
I love you guys.
Goodwill Hunting, anybody?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. An awesome hour of fun and frivolity has already happened. Let's get Eli Berkovitz on the show and see what we can do in hour number 2. I have high hopes. Good morning, Eli.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
All right, what's up, Eli? Let's dive right into this Packers stuff. And we already talked about the hype and the expectations for this team. We broke down kind of what the depth chart looked like. Nothing crazy surprising, other than maybe Rasheed Walker is the left tackle starter as listed over Jordan. What's your take? Do you think this is the most hyped up this Packers team has been going into a week one in the last 4 or 5 years? I mean, it's got to be now that Micah Parsons is on this team.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think since probably maybe 2020, 2021, last couple
it's
years,
the 21. Was probably the last time we were this hyped.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, obviously in Green Bay, it's always Super Bowl or bust, but I don't think we've had these kind of expectations in a long time. And even without the Micah Parsons addition, I think, the fan base, the team, the expectations were high. As Goody said, it's time to start competing for championships. But you add Micah Parsons the way they did, that just brings it to the next level. And now there's really no excuses. It's, all gas. Everyone's ready to go.
Do you think that, it's fair that some of these prognosticators, like the one, making the picks, doing all the, bold predictions on where, power rankings and all of that with this Micah Parsons trade, that everybody shifted from the Lions winning the North, now it's the Packers to win the North and be that dominant team? Do you think that's fair for this team, or do you think they were already right on the cusp of that?
So I think they're already going to be very much competitive with the Lions. And, obviously the Vikings and Bears are not any slouches either. But, yeah, you add a guy like Micah Parsons. I think, when you add a pass rusher like that, that really could be even, 2 or 3 games that go from a win to a loss. A guy like that, that's the player that at the end of the game, he goes and makes that strip sack, force fumble, game-ending kind of play that, let's be real, the Packers haven't really had that pass rusher in a while. Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers are really the last ones that come to mind, where it was like fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, you're up by 4, someone go out there and make a play and sack the quarterback. That's
think about what, like the Bears game and the Lions game last year, right? Yeah. The Bears drive down and kick the game-winning field goal. Like both those games, like we had to block a field goal. But yeah, if you have a guy like Micah Parsons, where you're getting after the quarterback and you in that thing before it even gets started, right?
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we seen T.J. Watt end games for the Steelers, right? Myles Garrett, even, not that the Browns are winning a ton of games, but I'm sure Myles Garrett has been a part of any of those wins. It's just, it brings a different level to the defense when on any play that edge rusher, if you're not double teaming him, which obviously changes the whole offensive game plan, he's going to wreak havoc in the backfield. And the Packers needed it. And I think it was, definitely the right move. I don't care how much they gave up, how much they're paying him. That's the kind of move that brings you from this team should compete, they should make the playoffs, maybe a wild card team, to a true Super Bowl contender.
We got Eli Berkovitz on the Mason Crosby Show. You can find him at 24/7 Sports and the Packer Report at Book of Eli _NFL on Twitter. I want to ask you about, we obviously it's been Micah Parsons' world for the last few days, but we talked about Jordan Love, earlier in the show, and just like what is the expectation for him this season? It's his third year as the starter. He was banged up last year. He's been a little inconsistent, through his time, but has had sparks of really good play. What do you think the expectation should be and is of Jordan Love coming into this season?
I think they're very high. I mean, let's be real. When he's healthy, for the most part, he has shown that he can be a truly elite level quarterback in the NFL. Obviously, there were some turnover issues earlier on last year that he definitely needs to work on. But I also like the fact that he is, a gunslinger and he's willing to take shots and he likes throwing the ball downfield. I'm willing to have some of those turnovers when on the flip side, you're having big plays as often as we would have, where I feel like maybe that wasn't happening as much prior. But right now, I think the biggest thing for him is health. We saw it at the end of 2023. We saw it last year in the brief amount of time where he was healthy. I felt like he was playing at a very high level. So the sky's the limit for him. This offense, Matthew Golden, all these young receivers, the tight ends, Josh Jacobs. I mean, there's really no telling how good this offense can be as long as Jordan Love is healthy and upright.
I like that, Eli. Do you think for Jordan Love, like you mentioned the tight ends, and we're talking about that a lot. I mean, do you foresee, especially in this first game, going a lot of 2 tight end sets, trying to run the ball, trying to get Luke Musgraves and Tucker Kraft really involved in the passing game? Do you feel like that is the best recipe for success with this offense? Kind of try to feed those guys. I was saying it's almost like a boxing match, right? Like you want to get the ball in the, kind of your Punisher's hands, whether it's Josh Jacobs or those tight ends, and make the other team bring the physicality to the other team's defense and make them, make them stop them, and then open the top up for Jordan to take shots downfield. Do you think that's going to be how they attack this Lions team coming up this week?
I hope it is. I mean, I think from the day they drafted Kraft and Musgrave, back to back a couple years ago, that was, I think, their plan and their hope was to run a ton of 12 personnel, get both tight ends going. I mean, when you have 2 tight ends, the way they and also they're different players, right? Kraft and Musgrave. Musgrave a little bigger,
Sure.
probably faster, more of a vertical threat. Kraft more of a short guy threat, great after the catch. That is almost impossible for any defense to stop 2 tight ends of that caliber. Your linebackers, your safeties, they're not going to be able to handle the size, the speed, the physicality that they bring. And yes, we have a lot of receivers and they're exciting, but number one, they're dealing with some injuries right now. And let's be real, last year, there were obviously some drop issues. I would have no issue if this team ran a ton of 12 personnel, really featured Kraft and Musgrave. And then when you're complementing that with the speed of Golden and the shiftiness of Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Doubs, I think you really could build this offense off those 2 tight ends, and that wouldn't take away from how great these receivers could be as well.
Awesome. Do you let's go to Micah Parsons real quick and kind of what you foresee his role being to start the season off. I mean, again, at his position, you gotta learn some defensive scheme and some things like that. But I feel like they're going to put him in the best position just to go affect the quarterback, be the type of player he can be. Do you think he's going to be limited against the Lions and probably the Commanders, just to kind of preserve if he does have this back thing and some of the stuff he might be dealing with? Do you think we should be concerned about his back, and do you think he's going to be limited for these first couple games?
Knowing the Packers and how conservative they are, it wouldn't shock me if he's not out there for a full allotment of snaps to the level that we're probably going to get used to seeing him throughout the year. But I don't think it's going to be only on third downs or he plays 15 to 20 snaps. I still think he plays close to a normal amount of snaps. He's definitely, I think, going to play the snaps in the fourth quarter, the big downs, the third and fourth downs. I think he'll be out there. And yeah, I mean, it is a little concerning whenever you trade for a player like this. You give up as much as you did, you pay what you're paying, and you're even hearing any kind of injury. But I don't think the Packers ever would have made this deal if they were truly concerned in the long term about Micah Parsons' back. And I think that I wouldn't complain if they kind of roll him out a little slowly, because, you want to be smart with it. He hasn't been in training camp. He hasn't practiced a lot. You don't want to just throw him out there for the entire game. but I'm not overly concerned that it's going to be, a very low snap percentage or some sort of long-term injury to worry about.
Awesome. We got Eli Berkovitz on the Mason Crosby show. You can find him at Book of Eli _NFL on Twitter. I've been thinking about this the last couple of days, so I'm going to ask you this question and just kind of get your take. How in the world did the Packers get Micah Parsons? Like, with what they gave up, all that, like, were there no other offers to the Cowboys? Like, why would Jerry Jones go to the Packers or field their call for this offer? You got to imagine there had to be other teams that would be willing to give up what the Packers gave up for a player like Micah Parsons. So, just kind of try to, help me understand how the Packers were able to get this deal done and nobody else was able to offer the same thing.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. I mean, when that report came out the morning that the deal ended up going down and it was other teams are involved, the Cowboys are listening to offers, I was like, all right, that's it. We're going to get outbid, right? That's always kind of the narrative, that the Packers were in the conversation, but then some team came in with a crazy offer that the Packers just weren't willing to match. And I was surprised where it's like, look, Kenny Clark, great player, 2 first-round picks, that's not nothing. But it would not have surprised me if a team was willing to give 3 first-round picks or 2 first-rounders, a second, and a good player or something like that. I really don't even know how no one else offered more or even equivalent where the Cowboys would be happy to not give him to the Packers, because let's be real. I mean, Jerry Jones, just in that documentary, right, said the worst loss ever as his owner of the Cowboys was to the Packers. So I was like,
no sense.
Yeah, if someone gave a comparable offer, they're just going to give it to them and not the Packers. So I am surprised. I don't really have an explanation or a reasoning, but I'm not questioning it. I'm just happy it happened.
Right. Yeah. I'm just looking at I was looking at the cap numbers even, right, for other teams. It's like, Patriots, Raiders, obviously have Max Crosby, but it's like, all right, you got Seahawks, Cardinals, Titans, could have been a team that could have, gone and done something. I'm just like, how in the world are the Packers? I mean, you got to imagine other teams were saying because our first round picks are not going to be as good as a ton of these other teams.
I think Kenny Clark was a big part of it because Jerry Jones said himself.
Because he wants to stop the run. Yeah.
Like
that's all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, he did say, right, that this deal's not happening without Kenny Clark. And it could be that maybe
and he's great.
Yeah. I think maybe other teams were willing to give the 2 first-round picks, but they couldn't offer a defensive tackle of Kenny Clark's caliber. And that might have been the difference, which, look, love Kenny Clark. It was like when I saw his name in the deal, it was like one of those, bittersweet moments, right? Because he's been such a great backer. He's been there his whole career. I kind of envisioned him potentially just finishing his career in Green Bay, having one of those really rare start and finish your career in the same place. And that would have been great. But I do, hope and envision one day he comes back and retires a Packer. But I do think Kenny Clark must have been the difference because there's no way that other teams weren't giving up at least 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, Eli, it is wild. I was watching some stuff this morning and my wife said it right as the deal, she was just like, literally the Packers not only traded for Micah Parsons, but they just traded franchise philosophy with the Cowboys. Because now Jerry Jones is saying more players, I love my draft picks. I love all that, all that stuff. And he's saying all the things that the Packers have traditionally done. And he's always valued his guys, right? He's always probably overpaid at times for his players that he loves. So what do you think's going on down there in Dallas with Jerry Jones now at his age too, changing this philosophy and saying now I'm going to stockpile picks. I'm going to, get all this stuff. I'm going to just, save money in the cap. What is going on there?
Besides that, he's just old and senile.
Yeah, but I mean, Steven obviously has his ear. I mean, his son is going to take this thing over at some point. Yeah. So maybe that's his mindset is he is at some point going to walk off and he's trying to maybe leave it for Steven so he can build something for the future and not just be handcuffed.
I don't know. Something tells me Jerry Jones isn't too concerned about leaving anything to anyone other than himself, but I don't know. It's very strange. I mean, right, they just traded a 3rd-round pick for George Pickens where it's all right, we're making a move to try to add another weapon to the offense, compete, and then a few months later you get rid of your best player. after paying Dak the most money in the NFL, paying CeeDee Lamb, I think top 2 or 3 wide receiver money in the NFL. I mean, it just doesn't add up what the Cowboys are doing. It doesn't really make any sense. You'll get 2 first-round picks, but I think, those picks should not be any higher than 25 at the lowest. Hopefully they're picking 32 for the next couple of years. So it's hard to reason or rationalize what Jerry Jones is doing right now. I think he just got into a bit of a, for a lack of a better term, a bit of a pissing match with Micah Parsons and his agent, and he didn't want to lose it. And he was like, you know what, I'm not going to give in and just pay you after what I thought we had an agreement, where he did a handshake deal with Micah without his agent.
Talk to the agent. It's not that hard. Here's my conspiracy on this as well, is that because the Packers don't have an owner, because they just switched, presidents, I got this weird conspiracy, and I hope I'm wrong, is that Micah Parsons' back stuff is not as, I hope I'm wrong that it's not severe and that it's not a bigger concern.
Don't say it.
I know, but what if Jerry Jones has been in rooms with other owners or different things, and there's been, just maybe passing conversations, right? And so as he goes and he's like, I'm going to trade this guy, and they're just like, what? You said he was hurt, or there were issues or things like that. That could be something that's going on there as well, because I'm just again, I can't fathom the world we're living in that Jerry Jones would trade their best player, a guy that any team in the NFL would dream of drafting, first overall, and pay, be willing to pay top dollar. It blows my mind.
Yeah. It is. It's hard to fathom how you could do that. I guess if he really thought getting these picks, saving that money, right? They went and they gave Darren Bland an extension and give some other, but it's let's be real. Extend whoever you want, do whatever you want. You're not getting Micah Parsons. You're not getting a player of that caliber on your team right now. So again, the injury, it's a little concerning, but I just don't think Dr. McKenzie and the Packers would sign off on this deal if it was really that serious.
Yeah, because it's not like a hidden injury. I mean, they knew he was dealing with something with his back. They're going to do their due diligence, probably more so than anything, because this is the biggest deal in the history of Packers. You hope that they dove into it really deep. But let's talk about this Lions matchup real quick before we let you go. What do you think of this Lions team? A lot of question marks, obviously, with their coordinators changing hands, but you still have Dan Campbell. We're going to probably talk about a little bit in the next segment, but I do want to know maybe your thoughts from your perspective of Dan Campbell's comments about coming to play at Lambeau Field. Because I'm always we need to make Lambeau Field not a desirable place to come to. It should be really hard. So talk about this matchup and kind of what you see going on here on Sunday.
Yeah. So starting with the matchup, obviously, right, the Lions got the Packers number last year. They split the series 2 years ago. The Lions, yes, they lost their coordinators, and I do think that definitely matters, right? I mean, there's a reason why they got head coaching jobs, and they were great at their job, and I do think it's nice that we played them week one. They're kind of adjusting to the new coordinators, to the new offense. I think that will help, but I don't think it's going to be a totally different offense or they're going to have some crazy fall off. The biggest thing for me will be stopping the run, stopping Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Don't let Jared Goff start playing off that play action where he's so good on play action. Yep. And then he has time in the pocket, and that's when you really get in trouble against the Lions. So you stop the run, force Jared Goff to try to beat you, not using play action. And again, you have Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary rushing the passer. Jared Goff, I mean, we all know, if he has all day, he's a good quarterback. You start pressuring Jared Goff, he turns into a very different player. I believe Jared Goff has played 2 games in his career against Micah Parsons. He has 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions in those 2 games. He's
going to be aware of him.
Yeah. And all it takes is an early sack in the first quarter, get after him a little bit, and then he starts fidgeting. He starts getting nervous the rest of the game, and that's how you mess with the quarterback. You got to get after him early.
Did I see a stat that Parsons has he's dominated Penei Sewell as well? Yeah. Was it he has the most sacks against that Sewell's ever given up is against Micah Parsons?
I think the last time they played on 17 pass rush snaps, he had 5 or 6 pressures, which was by far the highest percentage against crazy. Sewell.
Love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, Sewell, obviously a great player, but I think Micah Parsons, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're not double teaming him, if you're not chipping him at the line, he's going to give you hell. It doesn't matter what tackle you got out there. So again, I think you just got to get after Goff early, and that's going to make a big difference. And just Goff, once he gets uncomfortable, we see some games from Jared Goff where it just totally implodes on him. And it's almost always when you're pressuring him early and often.
Yeah, my hope is that without Ben Johnson there, they try to depend on Jared Goff to do more things. I think Ben Johnson just had a great strategy with Goff's skill set. And if they can't run the ball, then if Goff's a statue back
Jared's
there.
not that guy.
Yeah,
Jared's not him,
that guy.
right?
He is not that guy. Yeah.
Eli, can you believe football's on Sunday? Like, how excited are you?
I am very excited. I mean, the fact that, it's only one game, but still tomorrow night we're getting to watch the opening kickoff and then Friday night, another game. Like, this is the best time of year. We're finally, it's here. Like, this has been a very exciting, but felt like a very long offseason. Obviously, the draft being in Green Bay kind of helped bridge it a little because that was very fun and exciting. But this is the best week of the year. Like, just like the build up to it is almost like more exciting than when it's actually there. So this is great.
I love it. And just one quick take. We do our picks on the show, and I think we'll probably do them tomorrow. I think we're going to start doing them. But what do you think? Like that, the line I think for the Philadelphia and Cowboys
8.5
is 8.5.
Yeah.
Do you think that's enough? Would you take the over on that?
I don't know. I mean, I think, division games, the Cowboys, they manage to usually stay pretty close. I wouldn't be totally opposed to taking the Cowboys at plus 8.5. But I do like the over in that game because I think the Cowboys.
Yeah, what was that line? I don't even know.
47.5.
Okay.
Yeah. The Eagles obviously have a very good offense, and the Cowboys, they're just going to have to throw and throw and throw. And even if their defense is going to be bad, so the Eagles will put up points. And then Dak, CeeDee, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, I do think the Cowboys will be able to put up some points as well.
Eli just said 31-24 Eagles. That's what I heard. I heard 31. Dallas covers. It goes over.
Yeah.
I like
take it to the bank at Potawatomi.
That'd be
Casino.
a fun first game.
Yeah, I would love that.
Would be. Yeah.
All right. Awesome, Eli. Really appreciate you jumping on. Always a pleasure to have you. You're welcome anytime. And we'll talk to you after, hopefully after that Thursday night game and they go 2-0. That's the plan. So we'll have you on again sometime. Appreciate you, Eli.
All right. Thanks so much for having me.
Happy birthday. You're knocking on wood?
I'm knocking on wood there, yeah.
Yep,
thanks, Eli.
I got the most dad hat in the world for my birthday. My girl's.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Perfect.
Happy birthday, man.
Awesome. I appreciate you.
That's Eli Berkovitz. Awesome to have him on the show. He's on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Of course, he's at 24/7 Sports and Packer Report. He's at Book of Eli _NFL. That's a cool handle to have Book of Eli.
Yeah,
like that was a Denzel Washington movie, right?
Denzel,
yeah, Denzel. Man, Denzel.
That one's hardcore.
Denzel just came out and said that he doesn't watch movies anymore. Yeah. No, in the movie you're saying, yeah. But he just came out and said he can't watch movies anymore, like because they're all superhero stuff, and he's just not in
nothing like deep and like
the art.
that
that it's lost its art form. Yeah.
He just watches his own movies. It's just like I just rewatch all my stuff. It's
right. Yeah. I mean, why? If you're Denzel, why wouldn't you? Right?
Seriously.
It is Mason Crosby's birthday. Happy birthday, Mason! We've got more coming up. The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And like literally every minute we get closer to Packers football.
I know.
Cannot wait.
It's Wednesday. They're in it now. Yeah, no more bonus Mondays, no human Tuesdays. We are in the thick of it.
We are in it Wednesdays.
That's right. In it for the Wednesday.
He's Mason Crosby. This is the Mason Crosby Show, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey and iHeart apps. And you can listen to us, of course, wherever you listen to your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, all the good things. Just search The Mason Crosby Show, and his mug appears.
I'm right there.
That's right.
I'm everywhere.
You are. Are you Roy Kent?
I'm Roy Kent.
He's
I'm
here. He's there. He's everywhere. Roy, Mason Crosby. You should have a song. I mean, you have a song.
I have a song.
Yeah,
I have multiple songs. Yeah,
you do. You actually do have multiple songs.
Oh,
Did you ever think when you were like a rookie with the Packers that you would have multiple songs about your leg and how amazing you are at football?
I definitely knew I was not going to sing or write any of those songs.
Okay, fair.
But no, that is not something that you grow up thinking that, oh man, I'm gonna make it to the NFL, and people are gonna write songs about me.
Right. I mean, it's like it's real. You have
it is real.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it again. And me, big soccer nerd. That's a big thing over in Europe. And the Roy Kent song, is a prime example of that on Ted Lasso. But every player on all the Premier League teams and all that, they sing songs about their players. Like they make up songs. Mo Salah has a song there at Liverpool. Like, so it's kind of it's a cool thing to be able to, like, hey, you know what? I have a couple songs, with my name in it, just like that. And my guy Lil Wayne, I've been in a Lil Wayne song. I think that's what my kids are most proud of.
Really?
Of my whole career is that I'm in a Lil Wayne song, with the Packers. So
I mean, that's kind of what they should be the most proud of, right?
For sure.
Like that's
sure.
That's legitimate. That's a big deal.
I'm just dad, except whenever they hear the Lil Wayne song,
right. And then,
the green and yellow. So.
Then you're MC Crosby.
Then I'm MC. That's
nice.
Right. I'm a man now.
So did you want to listen to some Dan Campbell?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to talk a little bit.
Yeah,
I teased a little bit about Dan Campbell, and so I want to give my my fan shout out to get in that stadium and get loud, and then we also kind of maybe want to dabble if we have time. Just the business of sports. We love doing that in this segment. Crazy story about Kawhi Leonard.
Like what?
Yeah, going on there. I mean, like with
that can't be real. Like I feel like that's got to be a made up. Like how can that
$28 million for a job, like just a no-show job?
So it's like a fake
just
way
to get around the salary cap.
A fake way for the Clippers to pay him $28 million extra dollars that like they don't have to report to the.
That's crazy.
Can't the NBA get involved in this now, or is it like because it wasn't done of Sterling, who's not even the owner of the team anymore?
Yeah. Do you want to hear this piece from Pablo Torre? I cut a little bit of it here, just kind of laying it out in case anyone missed some of this story. Here's Pablo Torre talking about this with Kawhi Leonard today.
What we know is that NBA executives were suspicious of how Steve Ballmer's Clippers landed the most valuable free agent on the market, Kawhi Leonard. That the NBA did not find that Ballmer got Kawhi by sweetening their offer.
Mm-hmm.
But also that in March 2025, this celebrity-endorsed, multi-billion-dollar, allegedly fraudulent tree brokerage named Aspiration, which promises to clear your conscience and your emissions, they file for bankruptcy. And this is where the clue is. What David's looking at with his glasses on is a bankruptcy filing, and there's a list of creditors. The entities to which Aspiration and all of their alleged fraudulence still owes the most money. And what I noticed is what David is noticing right now, which is that on that list of creditors, up near the top, above the Boston Red Sox, is an LLC, a tiny little company that Aspiration owes $7 million. And that LLC's name, David, is what?
KL2 Aspire LLC.
Yeah.
And what does it list there under manager or member name?
Kawhi Leonard.
No way.
Whose NBA jersey number, just to connect all of the dots here, happens to be what?
Number 2.
So then the question is, the Aspire part of KL2 Aspire LLC, right? Because, okay, he's getting all this money, millions of dollars. What I started doing was scour the internet for any mentions of Aspiration. Any appearances, tweets, quotes, Instagram posts, anything by Kawhi Leonard endorsing Aspiration. And this was hard to find, which also might seem weird, right? Because every other celebrity Aspiration gave money to was well known. There was Drake offering a statement to Rolling Stone. There was Doc Rivers, Kawhi's own head coach, Robert Downey Jr. was cutting his commercial. That was the whole point of paying the A-list Avengers. But the grand total number of times that I found Kawhi Leonard ever publicly referencing aspiration, 0 times.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard mentioned aspiration.
0 times for Kawhi Leonard. So I don't know.
What?
Like here's the real question. Is it ethical? No. Is it illegal? Do we know that yet?
I think it's got to be against the NBA.
It's got to be against NBA rules. Yes.
Right.
I mean, there's no way if he doesn't have any skin in the game, like in like a business sense, that they would just funnel money through that entity to pay him outside of his contract. I mean, we couldn't even in the NFL, like you couldn't even take like a gift without it like going through salary cap, information.
Mm-hmm.
Like anytime we would do an outside appearance for the Packers or whatever, you'd have to sign a form. Yeah, you like anything, you just sign a form and like they would have to like account for it, right? So if this is outside of their salary cap, outside of all that, and there is any connection to, and it showed, I think, in that article that the Clippers ownership had a huge stake in this company, right?
Yes.
So it's like, it's not fraudulent in a like legal sense, like in the world, but in the NBA sense, like if this is true, like they definitely broke some rules.
So now here, think of it like this, right, Mitch? So imagine if the owners, why are they escaping my name? Edens, right? Who owns the Bucks right now, right?
Edens
and
Haslam.
Haslam, right?
Haslam.
So imagine Jimmy Haslam has, he has other businesses, other than the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Flying J. Nationwide.
Are you not allowed to have any of the athletes on the Bucks be endorsers of Flying J?
No, I think they can be endorsers, but I think they have to actually do the right. They
have to do something for it,
right?
Yeah.
Like you sign that form as you're doing like a commercial, like Giannis does commercials for BMO,
because you can have endorsement deals,
right? So he has endorsement deals that don't affect the salary cap,
sure,
and they can even be owned by the owner, but there has to be. You have to show that you've done the work. You've been.
That's what Pablo Torre is saying, right? Is like he didn't do anything for this,
right?
Like it wasn't like, they just said like, we're giving you this money regardless of what you do.
That's crazy.
So I think that's why he brought up like Robert Downey
for
Jr. and these other companies or these other people, because they've actually endorsed this group and they earn that money outside of whatever. Like, of course, you can have endorsements. You can take, money from any entity. That's not an illegal, situation.
Yep.
But yeah, you have to actually, it has to be earned in some form or fashion.
They need to get rid of this rule altogether then in pro sports if they want this to not happen. This might be just like a first instance of it becoming public knowledge now, but they should, like, this has to have happened before with stuff if you are allowed to interact with your owner's other businesses. Otherwise, this is just genius idea from Steve Ballmer and the Clippers, where I'm going to have another company that I pay Kawhi as an endorser and then make him more money with my money still.
But why wouldn't they have just done it as an endorsement deal?
Like why not have him send out a tweet?
Yeah, why not just like have it be legitimate?
Do you think there's a tweet out there? Like, do you think there's something like he did something?
It's pretty
and
easy.
That Pablo couldn't find it.
It's pretty easy to find tweets now. All you have to do is go to pages and then search on pages.
28 million is a pretty big number, for any kind of deal.
It is. But if they
then why did they have to do it? I mean, I look at his contracts. I mean, yeah, he signed a 3-year 104 deal in 2019. He re-upped with the team for 4 years, 176. And then signed a 3-year 149 extension in 2024.
Right, but whatever his original deal was,
but it was just to entice him there to the Clippers, like whatever deal.
Right, because whatever his original deal was, if it was a max deal, anybody could do it. So if the Clippers come to you and say, "Hey, we and the Mavericks and the Spurs and the Celtics and the Bucks can all offer you a max deal, but we're going to give you 28 more.
We're going to slide that
under the table." And Kawhi wants to come to LA anyway. Like, Kawhi's going to be like, say less.
Right. Again, I just don't understand with the world of endorsements and all that. Why not just say, like, we'll just do, like, we'll give you this endorsement deal?
Yeah. That
for
part,
$28 million.
that part
to
doesn't make
sweeten
any
the
sense.
Well,
deal.
and
Like,
it shouldn't be legal if it's Steve Ballmer's company. Like that should be a conflict of interest.
I see what you're saying.
Like,
I can agree
already.
with that as well. Here's the thing, though, and remember, this was the NCAA world before NIL.
Right.
Was like
Right.
that, where it's like, oh, a car dealership. It's like you didn't do anything. You got a car, you did whatever. Like they just needed you to show up occasionally, or you had to have adequate amount of hours for this, like the service that you were giving, paid for the product that you were giving back, getting back. That used to be like guys got in trouble for that all the time in NCAA before NIL was created, where, so this is just an extreme version of that. But yeah, I get your conflict of interest if it is a company that the Clippers ownership has a piece in, and clearly seemed like a shell company. I mean, this thing was just like, it wasn't a successful company. They just funneled money through it. It sounds like, to pay other people.
Yeah, well, then get rid of that altogether. That should not be allowed, because otherwise, what else? Again,
you can't endorse your own players with
with your own companies that you are an owner. Yeah, right. Yeah, that makes no sense that would be legal. Otherwise, why wouldn't every single team have this loophole or figure it out? And why is it just
all these
coming out now?
billionaires would just be like, all right, we're just, if we want a player, we'll just have this company that will pay them,
right?
Like,
an additional $20 million.
Did Jimmy Haslam pay Myles Garrett what he could pay him, but then slip him $20 million under the table from a different business he has just to sweeten the pot for Myles Garrett?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That is shady business. Yeah.
Shady for sure. Ethics, baby.
Well,
Ethics.
Welcome to the business of sports, guys.
That's
Welcome
right.
to the business of
We're in
sports.
it
That's how
now.
it works. Unbelievable.
Oh, crazy.
One day we'll get our own sports marketing company here and just illegally funnel in all of Mason's old connections.
We'll just pay each other.
We'll give
just-
Mason Crosby $20 million, and we'll say,
Yes,
it's a
thank you.
birthday present.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it
a
was for his
birthday gift.
birthday. Yeah.
I
That's
would
what it
like
was.
that gift.
Wink,
Yeah,
wink.
Can we get that going?
Get that going. Yeah.
Now, Odyssey, where's my gift?
Can we GoFundMe for Mason's birthday?
I wonder if he's got. You got to check your Odyssey account, see if you got some Odyssey
Oh,
points.
I did
Odyssey.
get some
You
Odyssey
did?
points.
Yeah,
let's
nice.
go.
I think 10 big ones.
10, nice,
baby.
Yeah.
Now, what is that? 10 Odyssey rewards.
All that means to me is you check your email, which I'm impressed by.
Yeah. What do I get for 10? What's
Oh, you're
what's
not getting anything.
1/80th of a hat.
No, yeah, you.
1/80th. You're on your way to a
gotta-
hat, bro.
I'm still trying to get the onboarding backpack, and I don't have enough points for that.
How many's that?
Well, it's
Onboarding backpack.
I was supposed to get it when I got hired, and I didn't.
Oh,
so,
really?
Now you got to earn the points.
So now
for
I
it.
got to earn
Can
the
we get,
points.
Can we get
for
Sparky
it.
on the show?
I don't know. I don't know
Sparky,
what's
can
going
Tommy
on.
get his backpack?
Yeah.
Give this man
You know
a
what?
backpack.
You know what Sparky's gonna say? I don't have any backpacks.
Right.
Well, because
Right.
now Tommy's doing
Sparky
all
doesn't have them
of
either.
his leadoff shows off campus. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a traveling leadoff show man. So
Yes.
let's talk before we go into extra points, just about, and well, I mean, I guess this is an extra point in a sense, is Lambeau Field, right?
Love it.
Dan Campbell talked about it, how on the 8th day, God created Lambeau Field. It's a mecca of sports. It's everyone wants to go and play there.
All true stories.
It is, but it should not be that enjoyable for the away team and for their fans. They should enjoy like going, and it should be a spectacle, and it should be like, all right, we're going to make that pilgrimage, but make it hard for them to be there. Don't make it like that enjoyable. Like, it doesn't benefit you at all if they have a good time. We want the opposing team and the opposing fans to feel the pain of Lambeau Field every time. And that should be their story, is like, man, it is tough to go there and play and tough to go there and win. It was amazing to go because it is a special place, but man, we got beat up. That was tough. That's what it needs to be there in Lambeau Field.
So how do you because I mean, I think a big part of your point, Mason, is that atmosphere has been lacking.
Yep.
How do you recapture, because Lambeau was a place that nobody wanted to come to for a long time.
Yeah.
And how do you recapture?
I would say that in like the
how do
mid
you
90s,
recapture-
it was not the spot that
No,
people wanted to go
You're
play,
absolutely right.
especially late in the season.
So how do you recapture that vibe?
Well, we've talked about this many times. Like, don't know who you're selling your tickets to.
Yep.
First off, right? Like, let's try to sell tickets to other Packers fans. Whether even if that is around the country, like there are millions of Packers fans all over the country. Like, try to sell your tickets to Packers fans. Make visiting fans just get their allotment of tickets. that they get. If I'm Green Bay, I mean, it's like let's give an away section and just stick them in a corner somewhere and get this thing going crazy, right? Like I'm all for it. Like and then let's stand up. Don't be afraid to stand and yell whenever we're on defense. We have Micah Parsons now. We have a great defense, and we expect the pass rush.
Get crazy
Early and often. And there have been amazing nights. I mean, it's not like it doesn't happen. There are amazing times in that stadium where the fans bring it like the whole time.
Sure,
but we have to bring it, and it can't be performance based. The team doesn't have to earn it. Just be there yelling, be there for that team. Bring it right from the first whistle to the last, and it's going to be really hard for teams to come in there and win. And that for me, I remember I think it was 2011. Great crowds all year that I can remember. And I think that was a product too of how we were playing. We'd get up on teams, they were passing a lot, and I felt like our crowd really fed off of that. So it is on the team as well to get to a spot where the fans are engaged and locked in, and it allows them to get loud because they know they're going to pass. You see Jared Goff, putting his hands on his head. You see them
get louder,
trying to signal, get louder,
yes.
Get this thing going. I cannot wait for Sunday. It's going to be electric. Bring it, Packers fans. This is your first one of 8 opportunities to go into Lambeau Field and make a difference for that Packers team.
He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Thunder Nellis. Tommy Wortz is here as well. The Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the fan studios powered by the Potawatomi Sports League. Remember, from 11 to 2, it's not that blowhard who's a Michigan fan who runs a national show anymore. It's Middays with Thunder. Let's go. We're live and local, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., even on Mason Crosby's birthday.
That's right.
Which is today. He's 29 again. He's Mason Crosby.
That's right.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on 1250 AM and 1057 FM, The Fan.
Great Wednesday here, and it is Wednesday of game week 1 for our Green Bay Packers. Wednesday was always that day where, especially this first week, it was like, all right, now we're in it. Let's get back to work. Let's get our minds right. Do all the little things you needed to do so that come Friday, you could just kind of clean it up and just get your mind right for that game on Sunday. So Wednesday is hump day. It's work day. Those guys are going to be out there just getting it done. Hump day. And they're going to just be working hard, just making sure that they get in all those situations. You're just kind of going through, not going through the motions. This is that day you push it a little bit because you have a few extra days to recover after this. And I am so excited. I can't believe football is going to be on tomorrow night, watching those Eagles versus the Cowboys, which
let's go Cowboys.
Could be interesting. Yeah, we need the Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
Again, this is probably the only time I'll root for the Cowboys this year.
Twice. Twice.
When they're playing the Eagles. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And then I don't know if they play the Vikings or the Lions, but like the enemy of my enemy.
I'll
that's the only time.
I'll root for the Cowboys then. Yeah, sure.
Because they stink.
Yeah, if they win tomorrow night,
oh my gosh,
they will shock the world. So,
and they will tell everybody how great they are and how great of a trade it was.
Jerry Jones will say, like, "Yep,
he will say, I told you so."
Best GM in the world.
Over under on a half a TFL for Kenny Clark tomorrow.
Under.
No, I think he's gonna have he'll have a tackle for a loss.
No.
Yeah,
no shot.
Yep.
He will have it. He will stuff a lot of guys for 1 yard gains. But there's no way against Philly, against Saquon and Jalen, that he's having a TFL. No way. No way.
Kenny's going to stop the tush push.
Have you seen
Kenny's
Saquon's
blow
thighs?
The tush push.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe the backup running back. I guess that's AJ Dillon.
Is AJ Dillon?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get back there and get him. That's true. I mean,
over under 4.5 carries for Dillon tomorrow night.
I think over because I think it's going to be. I think
is he the sure number 2? Like, is he the legit number 2 there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't even know. I hope he is for him. Like, he's a good dude, right?
We'll dive deeper into that tomorrow. Yeah, as we get our picks and get going. But awesome day.
What are you doing?
Appreciate all the birthday wishes.
What are you doing for your birthday?
I think we're gonna go out to lunch with my mom and dad. They're still in town. They head out tonight, and then Molly and I might go tee it up and play 9 here before the kids get done.
That is a real birthday gift for you.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, you want to go golfing? So let's we're gonna go tee it up. Haven't played since last week, so ready to get back out there. But appreciate all the birthday wishes. I am 41 today. 5 kids. It didn't feel like 41. I feel pretty good today, so I'm excited about that.
Happy birthday, Mason Crosby.
Appreciate it. Hey, don't miss Mitch Thunder Nellis middays with Thunder. He is just going to. I mean, it's going to be Thunder Watch for the next, foreseeable
for everybody.
Future. Everybody. Everyone's on Thunder Watch. Have a great show, buddy, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, man. He's Mason Crosby, the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Every minute, we are closer to kickoff Sunday at 3:25. Cannot wait.
Oh, man. Where will you be? I'll be locked in. We're ready to roll.
I was so